So let's talk about the title, Leviticus. The movie title has two meanings, one from the Bible and one from the horror story itself. So, what is Leviticus? Leviticus is the third book of the Bible, y'all, if you don't know, in the Old Testament and the Torah. So, it contains laws, religious rules, rituals, sacrifices like you're seeing in the movie, and instructions given to the ancient Israelites. You know what I'm saying? One of the most debated passages in Leviticus is often cited regarding homosexuality, which they shows in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And same-sex relationships, as they show it in the movie. So this is probably part reason why they name it Leviticus. Because a lot of y'all don't even really know what you got down, what you're worshiping and what you're reading in the Bible, because you just got dang going along with that good pastor, that old good pastor telling you. So who is Leviticus in the Bible? Technically, Leviticus is not a person, y'all. If y'all think, you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, some of y'all might know, some of y'all may not know. You know what I'm saying? But the name comes from Levites, a tribe of ancient Israels whose members serve as priests and religious leaders. The book is called Leviticus because it deals heavily with priestly laws and religious practices, as they show how the preacher did in the movie Leviticus. You know what I'm saying? So, who is Leviticus in the movie? In the movie, Leviticus is not the monster's actual name. It's actually not no one. It's a theme based on old ancient ways. The title is a reference to a biblical book because the story deals with religious belief, judgment, shame, conversion therapy, fear of being different, like how some of the teenage boys was, because they was, both, one way, same sex, queer identity and conservative religious community. So this is what the movie is dealing with. You know what I'm saying? The movie uses horror as a metaphor for those themes. They kind of did a good clash with putting this movie together. So is Leviticus an evil entity in the movie? Yes and no. You know what I'm saying? There is a violent supernatural entity in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And it stalks the two main characters, Naeem and Ryan. And you know what I'm saying? After a religious cleansing ritual, which I think it was in reverse. They think they getting rid of something, but I think they actually open the doors for an entity to get attached to them, more involved. You know what I'm saying? The creature takes the form of the person each victim desires the most, which means the boy sees versions of each other trying to unalive them. So if they really like that person, they gonna see a different version of that person, which is the entity trying to attack them. Crazy. Movie was crazy. However, the film suggests that the entity is more than just a demon. It's more than just a demon. It represents religious oppressions, fear, rejection, internalized shame, the damage caused by conversion therapy. These boys didn't have no shadow work in the movie, you know what I'm saying? So the monster is both a literal threat and a symbolic one at the same time. So simple version, biblical Leviticus, a book of laws and religious law and religious rules. Movie Leviticus, a horror film where a supernatural entity hunts two teenage boys by becoming the person they love the most. Wow. This was a wild concept, how they clashed all this into and made this into a movie. So is Leviticus the monster? Not exactly. Is there an evil entity in the movie? Definitely, yes. So, why call the movie Leviticus? Because the movie challenges how certain religions teachings have been used to judge and condemn people, especially people from the LGBTQ community, you know what I'm saying, individuals. So the title is symbolic rather than the monster's actual name. The writers on this one, they did a good job. You know what I'm saying? They did a real good job. So was the real monster in Leviticus the supernatural entity or the fear and judgment created by the people around them? Tell me what you think. Get in the comments and let me know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell for more future movie reviews on my YouTube channel at Ron Flip the Jumpman Movies.